Exomologiste tokirio te agathos alleluia.
Otis ton leona to eleos aftu alleluia.
Can we just quickly develop
Over
attention?
10 years,
This guy's
by the
just
way.
said
Over
that
10
if
years.
if I fuck my cousin, sorry for the language, I am not committing incest. My friend, that is definitionally unacceptable.
All right, well, that went away. Let's move over to Alabama.
Sorry, we're just interceding here.
He was so. Why did he engage us on that conversation?
He's trying anything to warm his way out of it. I mean, it's funny. It's funny to see.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Your chances, 4 times so, of having birth defects. And in fact, they did this study sampling in Saudi Arabia, Bradford, which despite the fact it has a small Muslim community, 69% of Pakistani Muslims in Bradford are begotten from first cousin marriages. So this is the reason why I actually think Islam is provably false from this claim. Because if God is the thing that orders nature, and it permits something which disorders nature, it is obviously shown that God does not have knowledge of all things, and that God allows for cardinal things that observably within nature is considered a sin. Because I don't think smashing your cousin, creating a deformed baby, is something that God would call for.
Yeah, but you can also have a deformed baby from having sexual intercourse with a stranger as well. That's not in your bloodline,
But
can't you?
if I have sex with my cousin,
Yeah,
that
it
will
increases your
directly
chances.
increase the
Yeah.
chance.
Okay.
Now, normatively, healthy pregnancies have healthy children.
Yeah, but from an Islamic perspective, we believe that deformity is God's will anyway.
So you believe
So when you
marrying
have
your cousin,
No, when
then
you have
causing
sex-
deformities,
when you have sex-
God has caused that.
When you have sex, when you marry a stranger, that's not in your bloodline, and you have an autistic baby that has deformities, for example, we believe that that's God's will. And when you have sex with your blood relative and a deformity causes, that's also God's will.
I'd say this. So first of all, you've just directly asserted that it is God's will to create something that, it's not evil, but it's something deficient, which I don't.
Yes.
A perfect
Yes.
God would create something that's perfect.
But but humans are not near perfect.
That's the point.
Exactly, so He created us. So do you believe in God?
Yeah, I also believe in some sort of ancestral and original sin. You don't.
Yeah, but again, we're getting to a
So
conversation. where I have
this
to-
is the thing, right?
I can't
Islam is so
listen to
simple. It was arbitered by such a simple man that you now have a belief system in the modern Western civilization which preaches it's absolutely fine to marry your cousin. When you marry your cousin and have children, the direct impact of that incest is God willed. I cannot rationalize with that logic.
Yeah, sure.
I can only mock and say
Yeah,
that's
I
an
know, I
incredibly
agree with you.
stupid way of
I
thinking.
agree with you, no problem. Thank you for your feedback. Now, can I make a point that the NHS recently put out an article about cousin marriages as well, and kind of giving them a positive
No,
spin
because
on it.
that
So
was
what
just
your
after.
opinion be on that?
That's just after the NHS also made a comment asking that certain communities of people stop having consanguineous marriages.
Yeah, but how could they
wait, one
change
second,
the-
one
Sorry,
second,
go
one
ahead.
second. And this is actually a very well-established point. They said that because it put a strain on the NHS, right? Now, after that statement, they had to make a clarifying statement, sort of relaxing their issues with cousin marriage, because it was typically associated with certain imported migrated communities of people. So the NHS is a captured liberal establishment that put out a factual piece of information that irrelevant outside of your religious practices. You shouldn't marry and bang your cousin. And when they found out that that was being used by certain elements of the right wing, they had to clarify and make a sort of flim-flam statement saying, oh, it's actually okay, man, might not always cause deformities. And that's a great example of a Labour Party.
But how can you
First
change your
parliamentary
objective
meeting was
from
on
that
cousin
subjective?
marriage.
Woke liberal management.
And that's what I'm
all
trying to say to you.
that was.
But that's my point to you. There's a
By the way, I just want to clarify, this guy is trying to justify smashing his cousin.
I believe that having sexual intercourse with your cousin is fine. So I'm not going to deny that. Why would I deny that?
Would you would you marry your cousin?
I would marry my first and second cousin. Yes, I would. I would not, why would I?
Did
deny
you not? Do you not have some just on a psychological
I
level?
wouldn't marry my sister. I wouldn't marry my mother, and I believe that that's incest.
What's the
I believe-
difference?
No, there's a massive difference. I
What's the
believe
difference
one's
between?
incest and one's
No, what's the
incest.
difference between you marrying your
Half
first
sister.
cousin? Wait, hold on, Steve.
yeah,
let me just
I
have
would
this
think
thought
that that's
experiment for a
incest.
moment.
So half sister would
Because
be
it's still-
wrong. So they're
yeah.
half genetically you.
This is the
A
thing.
cousin.
I've got.
Half sister is when
What's
from
the
your one
difference?
parent
What's your
is the same
definition of
divorced
incest?
and then one
Yeah,
parent.
yeah,
What's your definition of incest?
My definition of incest is having sex with your direct, direct.
Your
meaning
first
your
cousin-
sister,
your first cousin
your
is
sister
your
or your
bloodline.
mother.
What about your
Yes, I understand,
grandmother?
but so is my third cousin.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
go
you,
on,
yeah, and that's wrong. You shouldn't be marrying your
glad you
cousins.
Yeah, of course.
You shouldn't be marrying your cousins. You shouldn't be
I know,
marrying
but this
any
is
of
where-
them.
This is where we have a subjective.
You're already
difference of
working
opinion.
within the framework.
Yes, but
It's
that's what-
objectively-
that's what we- yes. No,
It's
you're-
objectively
you're-
proven to be true
scientifically-
that if you marry your cousin, if you have a child, that will cause a deformity,
Yeah, I'm not
which
denying
means,
that. I'm not denying that from that perspective.
sorry,
I'm not saying
Why
it's
would you-
which
recommended.
means
I'm
within
not saying it's
nature.
recommended. I'm not
Oh,
saying
so
it's
it's just,
recommended.
is it? But
Ah,
is it discouraged?
this is why I don't have
Saying
speakers
that
in the
it's
debates
I'm saying
anymore,
through
guys.
history,
Everyone interrupts each other, it's
So
structureless,
if there's
and
a-
the person I'm speaking to is trying to
I don't know,
justify
like-
marrying and smashing their cousin.
There's no need. But there's
This is
no
like,
need in
nowhere in England should this discussion ever take place.
Not today.
But,
no, but
So
you're
you're saying
you know, I
today
feel
is
like
wrong.
they're going to keep on barking on, so we're making
Today
this
it's wrong.
a short and
What you're
sweet
saying.
video
Today in
by
history
adding some more extra information here. Now, the Labour Party is captured by the Liberal elites. Actually, one of the first parliamentary meetings they did was in a statement regarding whether they should actually allow or ban, because you can still marry a cousin in this country, it shouldn't be banned, whether they should regulate it. And in fact, the Labour Party have actually had to put a commission in for SFGM, female gender mutilation, forced marriage and child marriage. I wonder what community is incentivizing those certain religious and spiritual practices. Besides from that, God bless you all, and God bless.